Plenty
So
of it.
yes, indeed. And I got a couple of kids running around as well, so I'm trying to,
Yeah. How many
trying to.
kids have you got?
I got two. I got a 6-year-old
Yeah.
son and a 3-year-old daughter.
I've one and one on the way myself.
Oh, you got
I've
one on the way. Oh, nice,
yeah,
nice.
5-year-old girl and one on the way now myself. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, it changes everything,
She's
doesn't it?
doing. Yeah, it does, really does. Gives you a new perspective on life, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's well, due on the in March, and supposedly the tournament final is in February. So we're
Oh
hoping
wow. Oh
this all
yeah.
goes down well.
Yeah, it seems like the stars are almost aligning for that.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I'm gonna jump straight in, and then got a bunch of questions, but we'll definitely be done by noon. Then you can get on with your day, grab some
Yeah,
lunch and
no
stuff.
problem.
Yep. Um. So first of all, thank you, Craig, for doing this. It's been fun watching your fights over the years, and so with big things coming your way, to have an opportunity just to grab some of your thoughts and share some of your insights. It's really exciting for us. So thank you
Yeah,
so much for
no
doing.
problem at all, mate.
Just very quickly, did you catch any of the Jake Paul Anderson Silva fight last
I
night?
didn't. I just seen. I seen the highlights. I was
Yeah.
well in bed by 1 o'clock.
Hmm.
I seen the highlight this morning. I only seen the knockdown, but by the looks of it, it's saying that it was probably a bit of a robbery, maybe.
Oh, really?
I
Okay.
see a lot of people saying that, anyways. I don't know. I haven't seen it myself, so I can't say.
Hmm. But does that kind of celebrity event, does that excite you, or does it do the opposite?
A
The
bit
idea.
both, like
Yeah.
so. It excites me to see that like the sport is grown. Well, combat is grown in these
Hmm.
type of ways. That like there's bigger pushes getting put in, and like there's more eyes getting put on the sport. But it's annoying in a way that like I've gave a good bit of my life to this sport, and like we're not getting paid nowhere near what these lads are going to be paid. And these lads are what they're fighting for the laugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where the fighters like us that are grafting most of our lives, and we don't actually see money come from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
But does boxing excite you? Because I know that you have the boxing beginning, right? But then
yeah,
you ventured a bit into jujitsu, and before you
yeah,
found your way into Muay Thai.
Muay
You
Thai,
know,
yeah.
does a boxing fight card, does that excite you?
I definitely it'd be something that I'd like to try. I've always said I'd like to have an MMA fight as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, it does. I even I love watching like boxing fights. Like Lomachenko was on last night as well. I'll watch that later today. But yeah, I'd definitely be interested in fighting boxing at some stage as well.
Okay. So let's take it back a bit then. Can you share a little bit about your youth and your upbringing, just to help us understand a little bit about the man that you are today?
Yeah, well, I grew up in Dublin One, which is Dublin city centre. It's a rough enough place. Like it's now tenement houses, like fucking flats and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
it's just made up of like loads of flats. So it's usually like especially times like this, like on Halloween, we have bonfire. You know, you always have like a bonfire night.
Hmm.
We
Yeah.
have like a bonfire at Halloween time. So like a lot of kids would go out and they'd collect wood, and they'd collect tires and that, and it turns into like little like hood wars, we'd say. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we'd go into your neighbourhood and try and steal your wood and be fighting and stuff like that. But it is like there's a good sense of community. That's why you see a lot of people travel with me to when I fight. You know what I mean? Like you don't see a lot of Irish fighters bringing numbers like what I bring. That's just
Hmm.
because of the sense of community that like these places bring as well. But my upbringing really the same as one sec. Sorry, someone was just ringing me
No, go
there.
ahead. You're good.
Uh, so like yeah, you have that sense of community, but it is also like it's tough. So it's like you would get bullied in these type of areas, or if you're not a bullied person, like I think it's just like anyone's upbringing, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's places in England that I'm sure are like that as well. But I had a normal childhood, I had good upbringing. I ventured into boxing when I was about 12, 13, trained for a couple of years, and that wasn't seeing too many good results, so I ended up leaving. Was getting myself into a bit of bother in school, was borderline getting thrown out of school. My older brother was like, right, you're going to have to do something with yourself. You have to stop all this. Sent me into a jiu-jitsu class. Really, really got into that. Spent about 2 or 3 years doing jiu-jitsu. Transitioned over because I wanted to get good striking because I wanted to fight MMA. Ended up finding a little Muay Thai gym in the area that I lived in at the time. I was walking by and I could just hear ah, ah. So I was like, what is this? Stuck the head in the door, seeing people kick passes. So I got really into that then. I'd say I was about 17 when I started Thai boxing, 18 maybe, and just took on from there.
And did your brother join you in the Muay Thai
Yeah, he
journey?
did.
Yeah.
We as well started off together in mixed martial arts, jiu-jitsu. Then when I went to Muay Thai, he was saying that I was getting good results in that. So he was like, okay, well, I'll come do this with you. He had a couple of fights. Now he's older than I am. I think
Yeah.
he's 6 years older than I am. So he couldn't really invest himself into it as much as I wanted to anyways. So, like he had a full-time job as well. He's a toiler, so he couldn't actually invest. But we've always kind of been into martial arts and into combat, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And being an older brother, like, has he always kind of been your protector then, and your
Not really, no.
no?
He'd be the one to give me the slaps, you know what I mean? No, we would, yeah, yes and no. If I say was getting into trouble, yeah, he'd try and put me straight. But on the flip side, if I was being bullied or anything like that, or like I was getting into fights or anything like that, and I was losing, he'd give me a good clap down and he'd say, "You go out there and fight again," you know what I mean? Or else I'm gonna kill you, like that type of thing, you know what I mean? So that pushed me as well. So I think that's where I get my mentality from.
Mm-hmm. So has he been very much like a role model for you? And
Yeah, yeah,
what is
no,
that relationship like with your brother?
yeah, no, he has been my role model. He's been like a father to me as well. Me and his relationship, he would be one of my best friends. We've a younger brother as well, so there's three of us.
Mm-hmm.
My younger brother fights as well, so I'd say he will be the next big thing. He does MMA though, so
Yeah.
he's gone down a different route as well. But yeah, we three of us would be really, really close.
So you know, you talk about this, you know, struggling at school and college, and then eventually choosing a path that took you into combat and to fighting versus the academic route. You know,
Yeah.
why was that? And you know, at what point in your life, what was that pivotal moment that you decided, right, you know, the academic route is not for me. I'm going to
Yeah.
be pursuing this.
When I was in school, I am dyslexic. I'm dyslexic, so I've always had kind of difficulty learning. But skills sometimes, like not all skills are good. Some skills, like it is kind of like teachers talk down to you and they ridicule you a little bit in ways, you know what I mean? Not all the time. Now, I had my moments. I wouldn't have been the greatest of a student, but ended up getting thrown out of school at 17 just before me leaving cert. I got into a fight and there was a bit of a scuffle and I ended up hitting a teacher as well. So they sent
Oh, you
me
hit a
like
teacher. Okay,
yeah,
all
but
right.
it was accidental. It was accidental. I was in a fight and a teacher was trying to separate it and I hit
Okay,
him
yeah.
and got thrown out of school. Went into what is called FOSS. It's like education. It's like after education, if you can't do it in
Mm-hmm.
school, you get paid to be there. So like it's in like a little incentive to go. Tried to
Mm.
do my leaving cert there again. Was struggling majorly because I just was very close-minded with education as well. So then found they done a sports course. So I done me level 3 and level 4 in fitness and education. So learned to become a gym instructor. The force I was in was actually a really good force. They ended up getting me into a college then after that. And it forced, I think, 3 months in college. I was training for fights. I was coming up to, I think it was me first title fight. I fought for Four Nations title in England against Jack Maguire. I think, if you know him, this was a long, long time ago. And my training was starting to suffer a little bit because of the work in college starting to pick up. So then I was like, right, I'm going to have to choose whether I want to do this or whether I want to do that. So I ended up obviously choosing the route of combat.
And, you know, I refer to, you know, some of the earlier documentaries, you know, as I've been scouring through and doing a bit of research, and you know, what was your mother's reaction to this? Because I know she's, you know, a massive fan of yours. Because she probably has some high hopes, right? You know, so what was her you know, reaction then as you're taking this fight career? And because I know she, you know, the way that she prays for you and her worry when you fight, and from then and perhaps the evolution to now that you know with the MTGP world title and stuff, how has that changed for her? If any?
Majorly. My mom. Yeah, my mom, at the start, my mom was like, it's a great hobby for you to have, Craig. You know what I mean? Like, it keeps your head down, keeps you out of trouble. You're not around the streets, you're not around the flats anymore. So at the start, I was like, yeah, that's great. But when I left college, that changed. She wasn't quite happy with me. She was like, well, like you're not going to make anything of this, Craig. Like, do you really think you're going to go far?
So she didn't think that you had a possibility of making a career out of this.
I wouldn't go far. It was just like, C-class fighters get paid what, €100, €200. You know what I mean? Yeah. We get paid like ridiculous. Like it's bad what like you start off with in this sport. You know what I mean? So she was saying that, and she was like there's no money there for you, Craig. Like, you're living off buttons type of thing. You know what I mean? There's like, go out and get a job or finish your sports and education course and try and get a job as a PT. Do it that way.
Yeah.
I was very stubborn. I'd be like, no, I just want to train. Because when I went in and trained, it just got me mind off things, and I was just enjoying myself. You know what I mean? I wasn't a burden to me. I was enjoying my life. Everything was good for me. Then obviously, after a while, she started saying that when I went to A class, I started getting paid a little bit more, and she was like, okay, you probably could make something of this. And she was saying that obviously I was doing well.
Yeah.
Then obviously when I started getting fights overseas a good bit, she was like, okay, this is starting to go somewhere. So our attitude changed obviously after a while, and now she says that like I could actually make a living off this, like a good living off this.
Yeah, well, so the documentary about you from 2016, who put that together for you?
A guy, Carl Green, his name was. He actually died, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, he committed suicide.
Sorry to hear that. I mean, I love introspection and seeing, you know, where people come from and how the story's put together. And I know doing a video thing myself, how difficult it is. So. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Very sorry to hear that.
My story, yeah.
But
he's a good lad. He had good talent as well.
Well, you know, in honor of him, you know, a wonderful documentary made. But you know, since then, you're now a father.
Yeah.
Right. And not only that, but you've gotten more into the coaching aspect of like a teacher, right? So now giving back. How different is life as a parent, you know, and as a coach, and what has that done to your drive to be a fighter? Did that boost it up? Did it now I've got more priorities, and that? How has that affected you?
No, it's definitely boosted it. it makes me want to work harder because I know it's not just me anymore. You know what I mean? It's like this life isn't just for me anymore. I've someone to provide for now. So that is a whole different motivation. Like you can be motivated to fight, and you can be motivated to want to win, but when you've someone there to do it for, it's completely different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you mentioned earlier a second one on the way.
On the way, yeah.
Congratulations! And
Thanks very much.
The due date is in
March.
In March.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you know the? Is it too early to tell?
No, we actually only found out the gender yesterday.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Another baby girl.
Another baby girl.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting how a lot of masculine and male fighters tend
The
to have
fighter's
girls.
course,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Okay. Well, congratulations on the second one.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
So how does that change your outlook on life?
Yes, it's like having another baby.
Yeah.
It's making me realise that I'm probably gonna have to win this tournament just provide for them all.
Yeah.
No, it's the same really.
Yeah.
Gives me daughter a sibling. The motivation stays the same. I have to work for my family. It's not just for me. You know what I mean?
Yes. Very less selfish. Yeah. Being a father of two myself. Before it was all about me.
Yeah.
But then, you're forced into this new world where it's like, wow, it's all about the kids. But it's lovely that they're being a great motivator for you and an inspiration.
No, definitely is.
So I rewatched the fight against Singdam, where you put on a wonderful performance. Didn't go your way in the end, but massive occasion, and it was in Ireland for the diamond belt. What do you make of that fight looking back at it? And maybe can you help to explain how the decision came about? Right, because sometimes it's not easy as a spectator unless you're, if you're not really an expert, and not only an expert but understanding the nuances of how fights are scored.
Yeah,
and can you explain that for us?
I can. So that was my first kind of big test in competition. Like Singnam was the first toy I fought, and what a toy to fight for your first time. You know what I mean? One of the best to ever do it. Probably one of the best of our generation. So coming into that fight, it was explained to us that WBC rule set is not the same as Muay Thai scored. So it was explained, it's basically scored like K1. Everything that is thrown with effect scores. So it's not just kicks with effect, score better than punches or score better than this. Muay Thai is usually based around effect, yeah? So if you land a shot on me and it doesn't really affect me, it doesn't really score. Now, in saying that, there's certain weapons that you can use that score more than others. Like a knee and a kick scores better than punches.
Yep.
So WBC claimed that their scoring is any shot with effect is scored. So it can be punches, it can be kicks, it can be sweeps, whatever. So going into the fight, my thought was I'm going to need a finish to win this fight. Then when we were told about the rule set and the score, and we were like, okay, that actually favours me because I know I can push the pace and I know I can put pressure on them and I know I can land hands.
Yeah.
Which is what I done. I went in, we kind of changed a couple of things around that we were going to do. Like before the fight we were going in, it was elbow knee for me. Yeah, that's my style. That was my style. That's what I like to do. I was going to try get a big cut maybe and get a stoppage that way. Then when we were told that the scoring has changed, I was right. Box, put pressure on. So, which is what we done. I thought I pushed the pace. I thought I won the fight. But regardless of what happens, there's no point in crying over spilled milk. You know what I mean? It was a big step up in competition for me. Yes. And I proved that I belong in there.
You definitely, yeah. Win or lose, that was a massive boost in your...
my confidence, you know what I mean? For my career. again, he is one of the all-time greats, and I pushed him to the final bell.
Yeah. So you must have, so you didn't get the win, but you must have felt, a massive sense of achievement. Your camp must have felt, really proud of how you performed, right?
Definitely. Then after that, it was like we could fight anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you got a very unique style. What is it about your style, in your opinion, that differentiates you from others? For me personally, I love the way that you mix in your elbows. Well, I mean, I love a fighter that can use those effectively. But what is it? What did you think is your unique attributes?
My adaptability, I think, is one of my biggest attributes. Like, again, you seen, if you see me fight against Panic, it's front foot pressure, elbow, knee. If you watched me last fight, it was back foot, box, take angles, move.
Yeah.
So I can adapt to situations, you know what I mean? I can adapt to fighters. I can change my style within a fight if I need it. I think that is one of my biggest attributes. But I think the reason why I'm liked is because I am always looking to finish, and I'm always going to put on a fight. I'm not there just to try and score or just to hold out a round, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm always looking to win. Now, a big thing with fighters is the concerned more about losing than they are about winning the fight, you know what I mean? So they're trying more not to lose than actually to win.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Exactly, yeah. Rather than scared, just trying to play the game to get the win versus being their true, authentic self, being your authentic self.
Out there and doing what they need to do to win, you know what I mean? And putting, like we're entertainers, you know what I mean? We're out there to put a shot on for the fans.
Yeah.
And that's my attitude towards it. Like, regardless, win, lose or draw, I go in and I give everything.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that is why I have such a big fan base, and I am liked all around the board.
Indeed. So before we move on to some of the one championship stuff, another controversial loss was back in 2020 against George Muzakitis. I only bring that up because he is one of the, now semi-finalists in this tournament.
Well, I believe that fight has been overturned.
Yeah.
I believe we were told that the fight was overturned with me and him.
What do you mean?
So the decision has been overturned, I was told.
Really?
Yeah. So
how recently?
I think it was just after COVID.
Okay, well, because your reaction was very clear immediately, when they announced.
I think most people's was, even if you read comments on the videos or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, so just very quickly, what is your prediction then? George is up against Nathan Benden.
Yeah.
In the opposites, in the other bracket, in the other semi-final to you. Yeah. Well, what are your thoughts on that fight, and what do you think the outcome's going to be?
So I'm not going to base fights on the last fights because it's hard to judge fights off one fight, you know what I mean? But I think George's style is to score, you know what I mean? He likes to play the game of Muay Thai. Now, he's really good at that. He is good. He kicks well. He moves well. But I think with the 4-ounce gloves, it changes that. And the rule set is different also for the 4-ounce gloves. It's global rule set. So that means it's not scored like Muay Thai anymore as well. It's basically what I've explained for WBC. It's the same kind of thing. It's based on effect, hand score same, and it's based over a round, not over a fight. So if you win each round by round, you don't win it over a fight, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So I think Benden's style suits that better because Benden's boxing is good as well. Benden will try to sit in the pocket with George, and I think he's going to go to the body a lot. George would be a good bit longer than Benden. He'd try to keep the range and kick, but if Benden gets on inside, I think he might drop him a body shot at some stage. From fighting George, I know he is hittable. You know what I mean? I know he can land hands on him. His boxing defense is like he leans back off hands, you know what I mean? Which is very, very dangerous in 4-ounce gloves. So I see Benden going through, but again, anything can happen in these gloves. Like, anything can happen. So we're not gonna count George out.
How did you adapt to the 4 ounce gloves? Is that something that you welcomed? Is it
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
because I know you took a couple of hits as well against Kim.
Mm.
Did that, what's the feeling like, being so used to be, with the larger gloves, to
Well,
shrink down to the 4 ounce gloves?
that
How
was
much of
my
a
fifth
shock
fight.
is
That
that?
was my fifth fight in 4 ounce gloves. So there was a promotion in Ireland called Cage Kings that ran for a while. I had fought. I was actually the Irish champion of Cage Kings. So
Okay.
I've had 4 fights in them before Muay Thai Grand Prix set that up. So I was adjusted to them before, and I adjusted well to them again. Obviously, Kim was an aggressive fighter. He wasn't there to lose. You know what I mean? He was there to win. He has a KO win over Benton. So
Mm-hmm.
I knew he was going to come forward and try to take my head off. Obviously I'm going to get some shots are going to sneak through.
Yeah.
I'm fairly lucky. My defense is really good. My boxing defense is really good. I've good head movement. I've good footwork. So I knew if I was picking my shots and angling off that I wouldn't take too much damage.
Yeah.
Obviously, I took a big shot in the last round that like I busted me nose. That was kind of the most significant shot of the fight for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think the style suits me. Like, I think all these lads are gonna try play Muay Thai in these gloves. Natty didn't either, so
Mm-hmm.
my fight with him will be interesting over that. He adjusted well to the gloves as well. He knows that you can't play Muay Thai
Yeah.
in them. You can't just sit back and kick. So I don't know. I think realistically, I think my style suits the best.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stand in front of you and tap my leg. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
going to be trying to put angles. I'm going to be switching my stance, and I'm going to be hitting you from both stances.
Yeah. Well, so speaking of Natty, we didn't really get to see much, of him back in
Yeah,
Liverpool. It was a very impressive,
yeah, definitely.
use of elbows and
Hands,
yeah, and
boxing.
hands. Yeah. So having seen that and knowing Natty throughout the years, what are your expectations going into this fight? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't want to give too much away, but I think he's going to be confident. Getting a big knockout after his last fight. I think he might try come out fast. I think if he comes out fast, he might run onto a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I can adapt. I don't know if he can. I've plenty of tools. Like, I can kick, I can move, I can box, I can clinch, I can elbow, I can knee. So I just think I've too many tools in the box. But again, anyone can get caught in them gloves. 4 ounce gloves change the dynamic of fights. So I'm going to be realistic as well in saying that
Mm-hmm.
I have to be careful. I know I have to be careful. I know he's explosive. I know he hits hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he's going to try put pressure on.
Yes.
So that is my
So
thought.
that's your thought. Well, any words or any message
For Natty,
for Natty leading up to this fight? Yeah.
well, just train well and come prepared. He's a nice young fella. I wouldn't be one to smack talk anybody, but I am very confident in myself, and I do believe I'm going to win the tournament. Not just
Mm-hmm.
beat Natty, I'm going to beat everybody. You know what I mean? And I'm going to do it in style.
Yeah. Did you follow One Championship much? Does
Yeah, yeah.
that?
No, I've been watching it since probably 3 or 4 years now. Yeah.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts when MTGP teamed up with One Championship, and then when the call came,
Well, my thought was my hand was up the whole time. I was ready for the call. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I was just after turning their world champion, so there was no way that they could not use me. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But no, it was very, very good to get the opportunity. Often, I am very, very, very grateful at the end of the day for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, it's a life changing opportunity for whoever wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So how does it feel? Because now this, the win in Liverpool has now set up this next fight for you back at the O2. somewhere where you're pretty familiar with now.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy coming down to London? And at the O2, is that something that
Yeah,
that
no, I love
excites you?
London. After the fight in London, it was like a little Ireland, you know what I mean? Everyone screaming, ole, ole, ole,
Yeah.
Irish flags flying in crowds. So, yeah, it's like a second home now. Hopefully, it remains like a second home. I know Natty's from London as well. He's from Essex, isn't he?
Yeah.
But let's see, the Irish fans they're very loud and they're very proud. So, we will make the O2 into a little
Yeah.
little Ireland. We will.
No, I literally can't wait. And, we're almost less than, 2 weeks away
Two
now.
weeks out. 2 weeks yesterday.
Yeah. So what is the mindset for you? And, in a fight camp, what are some of the challenges that usually are, the strongest for you?
Field would probably be my biggest challenge. I like to eat, you know what I mean? Gaining weight and fluctuating in weight between fights I wouldn't be like a Paddy Pimley, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be going up like 40 kilo or what have you, but like I like to enjoy my food. I'd go up a bit of weight. Now, the one championship hydrated thing, it does change that. You have to come down naturally more so than cutting big loads of weight during a fight camp. So it's required a little bit more diet than you're probably used to. So that would be my biggest challenge. But for other people, it'd be obviously trying to stay away from clubs and staying away from stuff like that, the partying or what have you. As you might know yourself, once you have kids, all that goes out the window.
So it's a distant memory. That is a distant memory.
Yeah.
But I know you mentioned a bit of the old pasta and some of the carbs that you...
Me food is my biggest indulgence, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like to eat. Cakes are probably my weakness as well.
Really?
Cakes and cookies. Yeah. I have an awful sweet tooth, I do.
Do you do anything vis-a-vis training the mind? Is it something that you're just naturally, because you always seem to be enjoying it. You always seem very confident. Is that something that you work on, or is it something that you find just with
I think it comes with, again, where I come from. Like again, growing up in like a rough enough area, you're either gonna get bullied or stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I think like having like a bulletproof mindset comes from that.
Yeah, having early fights where it was, fighting. It wasn't fighting for points, right? It was street fighting
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yes, people trying to jump on your head or other stuff like that. Like, yeah, I've been in a good few fights outside of the ring as well, but it's not something to brag about. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be proud of all that, but
it certainly helps, though, right?
It does. Again, it gives you a different mentality. Like that. That's why I'm always confident. Again, and the way I train, we put a lot hard work into this. You know what I mean? So why not be confident about what you do?
Yeah. Well, just a couple more questions, and thanks again for taking the time to do this. What is a fighter to you? How would you define what a fighter is?
Someone that goes in and puts their heart on the line, regardless whether they win, they lose, or they draw. It's just someone that gives 100% effort. You know what I mean? It's a lifestyle. It's not just something you come and do. You can't half-arse fight. You know what I mean? You can't be halfway in, halfway out. If you're going to do this seriously, you have to live the lifestyle. You have to eat right, sleep right, train right. You need, like, those aspects of your life need to be in order. Now, you see a lot of fighters that they go out and they party and they want to do this and they want to act like this. Now, I do think a big part of that is the McGregor effect, you know what I mean? Not the partying part, but talking and stuff like that. And now seeing different types of fighters come onto the scenes where they want to talk more than they actually want to fight. They're doing it for profile pictures type thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my whole motto has been, like, I fought anyone that has been put in front of me, regardless of where I fought them. I've actually fought more times in people's backyards than I have in Ireland. You know what I mean? I fought Rafi Balfage in Paris. You know what I mean? Like, who does that type of shit? So a real fighter is just someone that lays the heart on the line, regardless of win, lose, or draw for me.
Yeah. No, very well said. And final question, what matters most to you?
My family. I love fighting, and this is the end all over for me. But yeah, family means more than anything in life. You know what I mean? Not just as in my daughters, my girlfriend, but as in my brothers, my mother, my family. You know what I mean?
I 100% do. Well said, and it's just the more I find out about you and your past and the upbringing, like the more excitement this builds for your upcoming fight on the 12th November, again at the O2 Indigo. So I wish you all the best in your final preparations for that. You know,
Thank you.
I know the food's going to be a bit of struggle, but you know, it's
I nearly did 2 more weeks and I can enjoy what I want. So
yeah,
we'll get it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I would say all the best with that, and you know we will be catching up ringside, following the
hopefully a post-fight win interview.
Indeed. All right, well, all the best.
Thanks
and good luck with the rest
bro,
of your preparation. All right then, mate.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day, bro. Yeah.
I will do.